because I've validated my page and I'm able to use this W3 Schools, it's given me the HTML link that I can have. I can right click and copy that text there to insert into my footer. If I go back to my HTML page, on the index HTML page, I'm going to want to put that information inside the footer tag. So I'm going to go down, click on div, there's the start of that div and the end of that div, so I know that I'm going to want my content to go in the middle here. I've pasted that content and I have put in at the bottom a copyright mark that says by Tim Berners-Lee 2007, and because it's 2010 now, I'm going to change that to Tim 2010. This code here, this and copy semicolon, will give me a copyright symbol. In here we should now be able to understand what this actually means. I'm going to separate this for a second so that it's easier to read. Here's our navigation that's ended. Our next division is the footer division, and in that I've got a new paragraph. I'm going to put another image in, and that image is going to be an XHTML image, and then the second image is going to be another image. This is where I'm going to run into a slight bit of trouble, and I wanted to leave this at the end. If I just left it as p image source images XHTML GIF, like I did at the top here with the Tim Berners-Lee picture where it just said image source, what would happen is the CSS would look for the code that said image. I find out where we've put the image code. There's the image code. It would look for that and it would automatically, put that back to make it neat, it would automatically apply this styling to that image one. We had that same problem before where I said up here, apply these things to the table, but I want to specialize within the table and specifically name something by creating a class. So I'm jumping back and forth here, but hopefully it will make a bit of sense. In the table I created those class headings so I could control how I got the columns to appear individually. I am going to do the same thing down here with these images. I'm going to put an image in, and the image I'm going to put in I'm going to call no border. That's the class it's going to be called, and the image is going to be that XHTML image, and the second image is going to be called css.gif. Let's have a look and see those images. They're in my web design folder, in my organized images folder, and I've got a CSS tag and an HTML tag. I want to apply both of them, and I want the styling for both of these images to go in and be the same. So in my HTML on my index page, I went into the footer and I inserted that image. There it is there. The image is inserted, and I've put in the width and the height that I want that image to be, and I've named it the class no border. I've put a alt tag on it so that if you hold your cursor over it you'll be able to see what it says, and I've called it valid XHTML exclamation mark. My second image is also going to be under the same class, no border, which means its width and its height are going to be the same. The alt tag on this one is going to say valid CSS, and the title is valid CSS. At the very end of that I'm wanting a copyright signal to appear. So if I save this and minimize it and go into my web design folder, I should now be able to look at index, and opening index, when I go to the footer I have got Tim Berners-Lee 2010 put in there. There's the copyright symbol, and I've got these two pictures that are in the wrong spot. Remember, I am going to use the style sheet to style those images and put them where I want them to be. All I've done is added them to this page. Remember that copyright symbol came from this and copy that was here. So all that's showing up at the moment is and copy, or the copyright symbol, Tim Berners-Lee 2010, and the two images, but they are not in the right space because they have not yet been stylized in here. What I'm going to need to do in here is to create a new class for images and tell them where they will go, and they will look something like this. We're now at the very end of making this spreadsheet. The only thing I really want to fix up is to put these two W3 icons into the page footer. To do that, I need to go to my index page, check that I've got my image class sorted. It is called no border, which means I'm going to go to Layout CSS, and to keep my page organized like I've done previously, I've got my body, my containers, then I've got my list items, my tables, I've got the stuff that contains the tables, then I've got all my headings, then I've got my image, no border, that class that we called no border from index, image class no border. I'm going to put that directly below the images folder. So I'm going to paste this in, and I've written it before like all of the other stuff, so you don't have to watch me tapping away on the keyboard. Full stop, no border. CSS has that in the information, so HTML looks, it sees there's a class that's been created called no border, and it looks in the CSS for the styling information for it. It says there's no border on it. The margin on it is very small at 2 pixels, and it's got no padding. I'm going to save this, not search, save that. I'm going to go to my folder and I'm going to open up index.html. Once I open index.html, I'm going to look down the page, and there's my style sheets that have been pushed up because they've got no border, and the style sheet is telling them what to do. And we've actually created a whole web page that looks much better than its concept design did at the beginning. These colors were quite bad here, but they gave me an indication look of what I was going to do. Hopefully that makes sense, and you can go through and start making web pages. Remember, if we go back to our index, we've got all of our information here. Our hyperlinks are referenced to employment, goals, interests, recommends, and galleries. All I would really need to do now is create a new page in here called employment and gallery and index, and I could go through and start building those pages up to be exactly the same as the first one, so that I could end up with a multi-page website that works when I click on these buttons here. Hopefully that all makes sense, and you've seen how to hand code a complete website using basic XHTML strict that we validated, and styling it with CSS so all of the style is done in a separate sheet.